I don't know how long it's going to be until I get started, because what I see is what I show. And I'm not perfect. You want Magnus Carlsen? Yeah, sure, we all do. He'll pay. He'll do it for $5,000. I'm free. Okay, so kind of a hybrid Queen's Indian, Nimzo Indian. Watch G2. And I'm happy to see both sides get developed. Okay, this is not necessary. What are you doing? Okay, sometimes they see this lineup. Oh my God, he's going to take that pawn. I'll just forget it. Play here. Okay, this is a standard book position right here. Okay. Well, maybe not exactly. That's when the bishop is, but you know, the bishop is still back on c8, the pawn's still on b7. But just play c5. You know, I promise you, White's not going to steal this pawn from you. You afraid of this? White doesn't want to do that. Why would he do that? That just wastes time. Now you can do this. And you got a bonus. You got this move in, and it's your turn again. Okay, so these rook pawn moves are bad. Okay, the sooner you guys realize not to make them, the better games you're going to have. But you're taking your time, so I'm happy. Okay, now, you know, this game is still relatively even. You know, it's not a move that, let me just reiterate, it's not a move that White can come in and exploit. Now, he'll exploit it later because Black wasn't developing like as he should have. You know, maybe White will could have a great continuation simply because Black's pieces aren't getting in the game. I don't know. We don't know. But the game looks kind of even. You know, Black's got nice control over the square. White has the bishop pair, but they haven't sprung to life yet. Temple on the queen. Queen runs. So, you know, Black's actually ahead in development now. Weakens the square, but reduces the mobility here. But this is a strong knight, so it's good to see it go from White's perspective. Okay, now White's almost got his development done. But I have been commenting on the time. Both players are doing an outstanding job on the time. Okay? Absolutely. This is how you play. Now, White could do a little better. When you hit move 20, you should have about 22, 23 minutes left. So, you know, White should have gone a little slower, but it's not necessarily the easiest thing to see how he could have improved his game. Okay. And Black seems happy to trade. So, interesting. White seems to be able to force a pawn weakness here. How much time did Black take on this move? 3 minutes, almost 4 minutes. How can White upset the apple cart here? There's some crazy exchanges here. See, d5 is protected by the rook, the knight, and the pawn. It's attacked by the queen, the bishop, and the rook. So White to play, I mean, Black has already decided if you take here, he's going to take back here. Okay, fine. But what if White took on f6? Now, what's Black going to do? We don't know. But let's just take with the queen to avoid double pawns. Well, maybe I'm wrong. There's a trick here. See, we can't take this. Or maybe we can. See, I mean, this is great if he takes back here, but we have a rook loose. Okay, so I didn't see that up front. I'm a TRS 80 as far as analysis goes. That's Tandy Radio Shack 80. They made those about 43, 44 years ago. But I know these themes. You know, I've seen these themes recur where you can force an isolated pawn. So he couldn't force an isolated pawn. Okay, so game is even. In theory, we can argue that white wins if he trades queens and rooks. Okay, now if you remember ICC, you go into my library. I'm going to do that. Watch this. No, it's not this library. It's my old library. But if you go into my old handle library, Audacious Rats, you'll find in the 160s there's a game, Stolz Kashdan. That's from The Hague, 1928. Isaac Kashdan, I've met him before. He passed away, oh gosh, over 30 years ago. Wonderful man. In his prime, he was arguably the third best player in the world after Alyekin and Capablanca. In his prime, because Bofinic, Fine, Rejevsky, Carries, they hadn't come into their own yet. So he was one of the founding publishers of Chess Review with Al Horowitz, and then Kashdan ended up focusing on his career and didn't go further. But he has a game. I think it's an accountant. He has a game. That game I referred to. It's in all the anthologies. It proves how the bishop beats the knight. Like I say, it's in Averbach's Endgame book. It's in Sherezevsky's book. It's in Fine's Basic Chess Endings. Any place you look, you'll find it. Basically, the bishop and the king coordinate to force black to advance his pawns, creating weaknesses, and then entry squares, we enter in and we eventually win a pawn and get a pass pawn and run that pass pawn up the board, and the knight bows down. Okay, so anyway, but the queens and rooks are still on the board. It's a long way to get them off the board, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so kicks. Now, somebody say, well, why not kick it again? Well, why do you want to reduce the mobility of your wonderful bishop? Why do you want them back here? You just taste them out. So he didn't, but just in case anyone had that question. So this is okay for white. We welcome an exchange. Let's see. But we probably don't want to make the exchange and give black the file. Let's let him exchange and give us the file. Because who knows? Maybe he'll put his queen here, and we get our bishop versus knight ending. So we got to find a move in the meantime to make. How about b5? Well, no, maybe not b5. Might allow an annoying check here. How about a4? The idea is I want this pawn off the color of the bishop. Or how about king f2? Anticipation that we're going to go into bishop. We could go into bishop and knight ending, and I want my king in action. Let's see what white does.
Check.
Okay, he took. That's playable. But black has the file. Now, you can't really use it in a few squares. These are off limits, but let's get rid of those. But these are safe. What's white going to do? Bishop c3 covers d2, but allows queen d3. Okay, so he comes here. Now, all these squares are off limits. Right? Black can't put his queen on any of them safely. So, but if white trades queens, he's got the winning chances. Now, did the game end here? Yeah, end of game. Okay, a draw. It's a respectable result. White should try for the win, though, just based on what I said. Stolz Kashdan, The Hague, 1928. I think that was the Chess Olympics. But to do this, white needs to get the queens off. So that's your homework. Again, if you own Bishop and Knight Endings by Averbach, if you own Basic Chess Endings by Ruben Fine, if you own Endgame Strategy by Sherezevsky, it's in there. Sherezevsky gives excellent commentary on it. Now, it's also online. I think if you search for it, you can probably find it. The entire game score was missing forever, but somehow Kashdan's son managed to. He noticed that the complete score wasn't published, and he found it among his father's records, and he submitted for publication. And it's got one of these themes. Let's see here. where, okay, I'm not going to set the exact position up. Hey, you know what we're going to do? Here's what we're going to do. Watch this. We're going to look at that game. This one ended kind of quick. Since I have it on ICC, let's see. We're going to bring it up and add it to this. Okay. I got to find it. This is around 160. Okay, still, 158. I was close. Okay, guess what? We're going to see this one. This is fun. Now, it has a really cool combination that was set up but not played. Okay, so we're not going to spend a lot of time analyzing this. We're just going to look at the game. Okay, but the nifty combination is, we'll see it when it gets there. It's one of these mate threats. Well, we'll see it when we get there, which you've all seen. So it looks like black is winning the exchange. Would you agree? How do you save the rook? How do you save the rook? Here's how. You play here. Now do you see why? Why does this save the rook? You're saying it does, and he just takes it. White to play and win.
Check.
White to play and win.
Check.
White to play and win.
Check.
White to play and win. White to play and win. Isn't that remarkable? You've all seen these combinations before, but I did this once on a blitz game years ago, but let's back this up. Just remarkable. Now let's see. There was one other choice by black.
Check.
Okay. Let's see. Now we're going to go here, right? But now black is going to play this. And his plan is, but, he doesn't really have a plan. White can block the check. White has a queen for a rook and a bishop. Okay. So we're going to eventually see an endgame, this bishop versus this knight, right? So we're getting there. And there it is. Now, Sherezhevsky, in his book Endgame Strategy, I have it on the bookshelf, but I'm just going to quote from memory. He said what I already said. It says, but he basically says this. He says, at first glance, this game seems to be a draw. It's how does black make any progress? And an interesting point is, if this pawn is not on h3, this may very well be a draw. Okay, as Sherezhevsky explains, and I already said earlier, black is going to use his king and bishop to infiltrate the white pawn structure, force them to advance, create weaknesses, entry squares, pick up a pawn, and go from there. And that's exactly what happens. So once again, here's another argument why you don't want to move these rook pawns. So let's just kind of go through. And one advantage a bishop has over a knight is that it can lose a tempo and a knight can't. So here, white's having to make a concession already. If his king goes one direction, the king goes the other. So h4, but this square is now weakened. And it looks like black comes up with an admirable, or white comes up with an admirable defense, but black is going to find his way through.
Check.
And hello, g4. We can't go there yet because the G pawn was hanging. The G4 square is wide open. There it is. He chases that out. Now he couldn't take it right away. Let me think. Why couldn't he take it? Oh, because the bishop's hanging. Okay. But now it's a goner. And let's see, on move 28, black played king f8. Now on move 47, black has won his pawn. Remarkable, huh?
Check.
So white is desperately seeking counterplay over there, but black was a little too quick. And that's the end of the game. Remarkable, huh? How about that? So that in a nutshell is how to win with a bishop versus knight. You know, I've had friends that like to get the bishop pair or the bishop versus knight, and I say, how many times did you win a game like this? And with Stoltz versus Cashin, and I say, I never did. I did one time. The advantage I had, I let slip away, and the guy blundered back. So I had back in the old days, when time controls were slower and the club was at close, we had to adjourn. And I went home, and this is, gosh, 30 years ago. I had to study this Stoltz Cashin and sit down. The guy thought it was a draw too. Couldn't believe it when I beat him. Anyway, yeah, I see he talks but doesn't react to chat. Yeah, I'm sorry I don't react to chat as well as I should. I get involved when I'm doing, and right now I have to strain my eyes. I misplaced my eyeglasses, and I can't read small print. I'm reading it here, but I apologize. I'm trying to get better at this. I'm going to have, I'm developing this channel. I'm going to have assistants coming. In other words, other streamers joining me. I mean, you haven't seen anything yet. I don't know all the directions it's going yet, but as I say, you haven't seen anything yet. When I have other people, I'll be I will. Well, it's not that much delay time. I'm not going to time it, but anyway, I'm going to have other people, and I'll be able to watch the chat a little better. But okay, thanks for the compliment on the explanation. See, that's what I'm about. I'm about explanations. Maybe I'm not the best. Certainly not the best, but I understand this game. There's a reason why I'm not a grandmaster. There's a lot of reasons why I'm not a grandmaster, but as I get older, my rating goes down. Just can't calculate like I used to. But you can't take my knowledge. It's still growing. It's still growing. So, I'm on for another hour and 49. Let me stop this recording and take a little break. I need the breaks, okay?